When you install QTP, in the last class I have sent you the document for QTP installation, HP QTP 11 we are using here, trial version. So when you install that QTP, you will have an icon installed on your desktop like that. To open the QTP, just double click on the icon. And you see some license warning message. This is the trial version. Just click on continue. And for the first time you see Quick Test Professional Add-in Manager. This is nothing but the add-ins. What are these add-ins? Add-ins are nothing but if you suppose you are going to test any web application, then you need to select the web add-in. Or else suppose you are going to test the Visual Basic applications or Windows applications, you have to select the Visual Basic add-in. Suppose you select the add-in whichever required for your testing. So you select the appropriate add-in and click on OK button. Then QTP will be launched with all the settings required to test the application in that particular environment. There are many more add-ins, like we have Java add-in, .NET add-in, SQL add-in, SAP add-in. So many add-ins are there, but all those are licensed add-ins. Means we have to pay the amount to the HP company and buy the license to install those add-ins. Whereas these add-ins are free or else installed by default when you install QTP. You need not pay any money or you need not buy the license for these add-ins. So if I want to test my app and if my application is related to web environment, I can select web add-in and say OK. So my QTP will be launched, making itself ready to test the application in that particular environment. Coming to the web applications, what are web applications? Web applications are nothing but the applications which run on internet browser and which needs some internet connectivity. Whereas Windows add-ins means Visual Basic add-in you have to select. If you come to Windows applications, those are nothing but the utility applications like your calculator or else your notepad, your Microsoft Word document, all this comes under Windows applications. Similarly, application which is having ActiveX controls, that is a again different technology. So right now I'm just selecting Visual Basic add-in. Let us see a sample Windows application first, and we'll go with the different web applications and do different type of test samples. Okay, for now, because as an introduction, just let us select the Visual Basic add-in and click on OK. Don't select two add-ins at a time. If you select two add-ins at a time, there will be interference between those settings, right? And you cannot test the application properly. So select the only the add-in which you want. So here we are going to test Windows application first. So let us select the Visual Basic add-in first and click on OK. So QTP launches. We are using Quick Test Professional version 11. And before opening and going for a sample test, let us have some introduction about QTP. From the initial phase, QTP has got versions like 6. It was introduced with the version 6 and so on. So it has advanced versions. It came through so many versions like 8, 8.2, 9.2, 10, and now we are at HP QTP 11. Previously, this QTP Quick Test Professional was the product of Mercury Interactive Company. Mercury Interactive's company. And now 11 from 9.2 onwards, 9.2 onwards, the QTP product was acquired by the company HP, which is Hewlett Packard. Now right now it's a product of HP company. And these are all the versions. Out of all these versions, the most important ones, or else the most widely used versions, are 9.2, 10, and also 9, 9.2, 10. Nowadays, we are also using 11. There are some differences between the version 10 and version 11. Like in the version 10, we have some add-ins, and in version 11 we have a new add-in introduced called Silverlight add-in, which supports testing a Silverlight applications. And one more difference between the version 10 and version 11 are, in the older version the test result summary document had a different look, but now the result summary document is having a new look, or a sophisticated look, or it's a very clear. And also there are differences, like previous versions cannot test the Firefox browser, cannot support testing in a Firefox browser. It supported only Internet Explorers, but now with the introduction of QTP 11 they support Firefox also if you install patches. So this is about the QTP different versions. And operating system requirements is it supports XP, Windows XP, Vista, and also 2003 server, 2008, and now Windows XP also, I mean Windows 7 also. If we install 10 in Windows 7 having some problems, means some features are not available, but with 11 those were solved. But still having some issues, like some features are available or else they don't work properly. If you install patches, that solves the problem to some extent. Let us see why to do automation, why to go for automation. What are the drawbacks of manual testing? We have already learned the drawbacks. What are the drawbacks of manual testing? If you know manual testing, you should also know the drawbacks, isn't it? So the drawbacks are nothing but it's a time consuming, more number of employees are required, and also not accurate in some cases. Of course, there are also advantages of manual testing, just why we are going for automation. So to understand this, let us see the drawbacks. These are all the drawbacks, right? Not accurate, and also whenever you need to do regression testing or retesting, then it becomes much more time consuming. So for doing such testing types, we choose automation. So when to choose automation and how do you decide the application should go for automation? The basic things should be considered are, how big is the application? Means if the application is very big, if it is having so much functionality to test, so you go for automation. And also the second point, you go for automation only when the requirements are stable. Stable means all the requirements are feasible. Once manual testing is done on the application and the requirements are completely freezed, then you go for automation. That is what is called, when the application is stable, then one can go for automation. Then whenever regression testing is required, then also you can choose automation. And also testing, it can test the functionality part as well as the non-functionality part also by using automation tools, right? Depending on the application, whether it is going for functional testing or non-functional, so you go for automation tools. There are many automation tools. Right now we are talking about functional automation tool, which is QTP. There are many more functional testing tools like Silk Test, Selenium, and so on. Similarly, non-functional tools like which are performance tools, Windrunner, LoadRunner, JMeter, and so on. So there are wide range of automation tools, but the most widely used, and you can say it as a king of a tools, is nothing but QTP, Quick Test Professional, which is having a great demand in the market. where quick test professionals are having a great demand in the market, right? So seeing all these advantages and why you should go for a tool, after seeing this, let us start and try to automate a simple scenario. So QTP has launched with all the settings ready for testing a Windows application. And whenever QTP launched, you see a start page like this, right? Some welcome page. If you don't want to see this page again, you can unselect this checkbox. Don't show the start page window on startup. You can select this checkbox so that for the next time whenever you open QTP, you will not see this welcome screen. Now let us click on new test so that a new test or else the main window of QTP opens. So before starting or automating a sample test scenario, let us go with a QTP IDE. What is meant by IDE? It is nothing but integration development environment. Means you understand first the environment of QTP and then we'll start and try to automate some scenarios. So here the first one, the blue colored one, which shows you the name of your test, is nothing but the title bar. Quick test professional, and it's showing test, the test name. That's what's called the title bar. Next one, this where you see file, edit, view, insert, all these menu options. This is called menu bar, by which if you select any one, if you click on any menu option, you see again a whole list which will assist you in automating your test scenarios. So this is called menu bar. Next one, new, open, save, cut, copy, paste, all these are nothing but file toolbar, which will assist you to manage the file. File is nothing but this one. Next comes one more tab which is called record, where you see record, run, all different options. We'll be seeing each and every option in detail. Okay. First of all, let us study this IDE. So this is called where you see different options for automating your test is called automation toolbar, which will assist you in automating your test. So after seeing this, this is nothing but the white page, main page. What you are seeing is nothing but the test pane window. Basically, there are 7 main parts of QTP. The first one is called test pane window. This is what you are seeing, the white page. This is nothing but the test pane window where you write your scripts. You use here VB scripting. VB scripting is required to instruct QTP. We are using automation tool. But how do you use the automation tool for testing any scenarios? You should instruct QTP to do the task for you. Till now in the manual testing, we have seen how to execute the test cases, how to test the application manually. But here in automation testing, you will instruct QTP to do the testing process. So how should you instruct? You should instruct in a language which QTP understands. So that is nothing but the VB scripting language. So in this course, we'll also be learning how to write the scripts manually. Means you'll also be taught how to write scripts in VB scripting. So this is the main window which is called a test pane window where you write your scripts in VB scripting language. And in this main page at the bottom you can see 2 tabs, which is nothing but keyword view and expert view. See, these are the 2 tabs, which is a keyword view and expert view. So first of all, let me write some set of lines in VB scripting so that you can understand better. Just I'm taking one variable. I'll tell you what is this variable and all. Just see, this is some VB scripting. So let us take another variable and then just adding the 2 integers and then writing some message box function where I want to see the output of C. So message box C. I'll explain you this code a little bit later. For understanding IDE, just I wrote some 4 lines of code. So this is the expert view where you see your scripts in VB scripting format. There is one more tab which is called keyword view. Go to the keyword view. The same script will be seen in the form of graphical representation. Nothing but in the form of a tabular column which contains 4 columns. One is item, operation, value, and then documentation. So action contains the objects or the statements or a function call. Here we are writing the function call. So it just shows the statements whatever we are writing. And in the operation column will show you what operation exactly or what method you are performing. This message box is nothing but a function. So coming to the value, it shows the values given to the variables. And then documentation. Here the whatever you do will be shown in the form of English statements. That's what is expert view and keyword view. If you make any changes in the expert view like a b is equal to 7, just go to keyword view. The same changes will be reflected in the keyword view. You will understand this test pane window better if you do some sample scenarios. Before going that, let us have a look at the active screen and all. The second part of QTP is nothing but active screen window. Let's go and select this window. So to view any particular window, just go to view menu, click on the particular window, whatever you want to see. Click on active screen. Active screen is nothing but if you are writing a script related to some operations on your application, then active screen window will show you the snapshots of that particular application. And the next window, which is an important one, is data table. Data table is nothing but it's like an Excel sheet where you can store your test data. The other window is nothing but the test flow window. On the left hand side you can see test flow. If you want to see any particular window, just go to view menu, select that particular window. So these are the main windows, which is a test pane window, data table, active screen window, test flow window, and the other one is nothing but go to view menu, you see debugger viewer. This will assist you in debugging your script. Why to debug your script? To see the errors, to see any syntax errors or runtime errors, you go for debug viewer pane. We'll use all these windows once we start the testing process. So next comes missing resources pane. In this window, if any resources attached to the test script are missing, let us see here, in our test, for using the test data, we use some Excel sheets from the external environment, which will be on our local computer, like in a C drive or E drive. So we'll be getting the data from those Excel files and we'll be using in our tests. Suppose if some test data or some Excel sheet is missing, which are associated with this test, then that information will be shown in this missing resources window. The other window is information pane window. This will show if your test has any syntax errors. To understand the IDE better, let us go for a sample test scenario. Let us first go to new test. New test means a new test will be open. I'm not saving this. Just close this one. So this is again a new test. Suppose if you make any changes, that will be shown here by an asterisk symbol. Means your test is not saved. A small star symbol will be shown. If you want to save the test, just save it. Click on save. Then it will ask some file name. Just give the file name. So you can see the file name along with the path here in the title bar. See program files HP quick test professional test, and I'm saving it in the test folder as test 15. So it shows a test name along with the path of the test. So this is called title bar. Okay, now let us automate a simple scenario, login scenario in one Windows application. See, go to Start menu and go to All Programs, HP Quick Test Professional, Sample Applications. You see the flight window here. Just select that one. You see a small pop-up window which is a login window. This flight reservation window is the one which is installed by default if you install the QTP. This will be used to just to see all the features of QTP. For learning purpose, we can use this application. So for Windows environment, we'll just use this and go for web applications. So now I need to automate my login scenario into this flight reservation window. So to automate the sample scenario, you have to first click on record. You see here record button is there, or else you can just directly click F3, or else go to automation menu. There you see record button, just click on it. First click on this record button. Again one more window comes up showing record and run settings. Means record and run tests on any window based application. Or else there is one more option, record and run only on. I'll tell you what this second option means in the second session. In the next session, let us select the first option and click on OK. Now if you see QTP enter record mode, and at the bottom you can see some red color blinking showing that recording. So QTP entered the record mode. Now let us do our test scenario. What is this login scenario? So enter the agent name. What is the agent name? Here in this sample application, agent name can be any name of 4 characters or more. So let us give some agent name as new access. It could be any name of 4 characters or more. And password. Coming to the password, password should be only Mercury. MERCURY. And then click on OK button. If you observe, whatever operation I am doing on the application, a line of code is getting generated. Means whatever action I am doing on the application is just converted into VB scripting lines of code. Now I'm just clicking on this close button, means logging out of the application. Just close the application. And now just hit this stop button, or else you can hit F4. So stop recording. Now QTP entered the normal mode. So this is my first script generated. This is also generated by recording. We have also many options how to generate the script. In the coming sessions, we'll be seeing how to generate the script manually without going for record. You should write the script manually. And also that is one method by adding objects to the repository. One more method is without using repository. Anyhow, we'll be seeing all this. First of all, now let us see, this is the script generated. Before understanding the script, let us execute the script. What is meant by executing? You have recorded whatever operation you have done on the application is converted into some VB scripting lines of code. For every action, you have the VB script generated. So if you want to do the same test scenario again, you need not enter the values manually and you need not do it again. You just click on run button. Can you see here run button F5? Just hit on this run. So QTP enters run mode. You can see at the bottom running and it executes by itself. I'm not entering any values. It got executed by itself. So that is what is called automation. So the concept behind this automation is nothing but record and playback. You just recorded the test process and just play back like a tape recorder. The best example is tape recorder. Suppose if you want to record your child voice or else any good song which you like, you just click on record, so the song will be recorded. So whenever you want to hear the song, so you just play back the song. So the same concept, that's the concept behind this automation. But there are many methods to automate also. Instead of recording, we'll write the script manually, and also you can play back. Okay, now save the test. Now the test is saved. Now let us try to understand this line of code. Suppose go to this first line. If you see here, you see something like dialog of login, WinEdit and all. What is this dialog? What is this WinEdit? Right? What is this set? If you don't understand any particular line of code, go to View menu, click on Active Screen. You see that particular snapshot related to that particular line of code. Means it's highlighting the operation you are doing also. Means entering new access. Suppose you don't understand the second line of code. Just click on that second line and you see the particular snapshot related to that particular line of code. See, entering the password. And suppose you don't understand what does this mean. Dialog of login of win button, okay. If you don't understand this, just highlight this and go to active screen. That particular snapshot of the application will be shown here. That is the use of active screen window. And if you go to the test flow pane, see here it is showing the execution flow. Here right now we are having only one action in our test. See here, these are the actions. Action 1 we have. If you have so many actions and you don't know which action is getting executed, this test flow window will show you which action is getting executed first. Means it will show the execution flow. Execution means nothing but running the test script. Next one is data table. Let us see the data table also. So here in our test script, we are using some values, new axis and some value here, right? So if you want to use that from some Excel sheet or else you want to store the data in your data table, you will just put your data here and use that in your test. We'll see all these concepts in the next sessions, but just have to have an IDE. Let's go to different windows. And the other one is information pane. Suppose there are any syntax errors. If you want to check whether any syntax errors are there. Syntax error means some errors in your code. Go to tools, check syntax. See here the syntax is valid. Means there are no syntax errors. Suppose let us do some changes here, just removing some period here. Now go to tools, check syntax. You see here expected end of statement. Item is test 15, means it's also showing you a test name, action name and line 1 where there is some mistake. Again put the dot symbol. Again go to tools, check syntax. Again the syntax is valid. So this is how we'll be using the different windows at appropriate timings whenever required. Now let us try to understand the VB script. What is this first line of code means? Dialog of login.winedit of agent name dot set. What is this dialog? What is this login? What is WinEdit? What is agent name and all, right? Let us see this clearly. Every VB scripting line of code will contain three parts. The first part is nothing but hierarchy. The second part is nothing but method or operation performed on the object. Third one is nothing but the value. If you take this line of code, which is dialog of login dot winedit quotations open and then you have some agent name dot set, and then the value you have given for agent name. So this is the first line of code. Let us try to analyze and understand this line of code. As I told, each line in VB scripting contains three parts. One is hierarchy, method, and value. Until this part, it is called hierarchy. And this is nothing but method or operation. And this is the value. Why to write the hierarchy and what is meant by hierarchy? Hierarchy is nothing but parent-child relationship of the objects. Again, what are objects? Any element in the application is nothing but the object. Any element. It could be the edit box. Agent name is nothing but the edit box, right? Where user enters some input. Next one is a password. That is also one edit box. Next button, OK button. Next one is a cancel button, help button. All the objects, these are all called objects. All the all the elements in an application are called objects. Some elements in the application. These are nothing but objects. And for every object class, for every object there is one object class. Like take a very simple example. Suppose you take any dog, right? It belongs to the class animals. Means each and everything, whether it is a living being or non-living thing in our real life, in our daily life, each object, whether it is everything, whether it is a living thing or non-living thing, is categorized into different classes like animals, birds, insects, reptiles, and so on, isn't it? Similarly, if you see any parrot, you see that belongs to the class birds. Similarly, applying the same analogy for the objects. Each and every element, which is nothing but object in the application, is classified into different object class. Like if you take the edit box, all the edit boxes in the application belongs to the class were categorized into the class WinEdit for Windows environment. We are right now talking about Windows environment. Then we'll go for web environment. Okay. So all the objects you see in our application are categorized into some standard object class. So all the edit box in the application belongs to the class WinEdit. And all the buttons like OK, help, cancel. So all the buttons are categorized into one class which is called Win button. Similarly, the pop-up window. Here our login window is nothing but a pop-up window. Pop-up means it's just a small window like some advertisement. It's a small window. It's not the main window or a big window. So that pop-up window belongs to the class dialog. The class name itself is dialog. It's some dialog box. So while writing the syntax or line VB scripting, the syntax for writing this hierarchy is parent object class, means class of the parent object, brackets open, quotations open, the name of the object. That dialog box name is nothing but login. So login. And what is the child object on which you need to perform the operation? It is nothing but the agent name. So WinEdit. It's the object class again. The syntax is object class. Again, brackets open, quotations open, name of that particular object. What is the object we are using here? Agent name. So that is how you reach the particular object. Suppose I want to do operation on password. So I should write the hierarchy for the password field. To reach that particular object, you should write the hierarchy. So after reaching the object, you can use method or operation. It is nothing but the operation or function you are going to perform on that particular object. So to reach the object, you need hierarchy of the particular object. To do some operation on the object, you need method or operations. And next, to assign some value or set some value, you need a value, right? So to reach the object, first of all I want to reach the agent name. So write the complete hierarchy for the agent name. Agent name is in the pop-up window. So pop-up window is the parent object. Then comes the agent name. Suppose I want to reach the password. So write the hierarchy for this password. The parent object is nothing but again the login window. Next, password. So after reaching the object, put a dot, and all these parent childs were separated by a symbol called dot or period, which is having a special meaning in VB scripting. It separates the parent and child objects. And also once you reach the complete your hierarchy, again put the dot, then method or operation. For an edit box, again methods and methods are different. For an edit box, the method applicable is set method. Suppose it's a pop-up, suppose it's a drop-down box. Drop-down means some list box. If you select that, you will see a drop-down. So if it is a drop-down, then the method applicable is select, because you are not setting the value there. Already the values will be there, you are just selecting the value. Whereas in an edit box, for an edit box, the method applicable is set. Like you cannot select, you cannot use the select method on an edit box. Similarly, you cannot use a set method on the drop down box. That is the difference. These methods are nothing but, if suppose you have a class pen, pen writes, so the method is pen writes. And if you have a washing machine, this is another object, this is one object, this is one object, so the method or operation is writing here. And for washing machine, the method or operation is washing. So you cannot apply write method on this washing machine, or else you cannot apply washing method on the pen. Only pen can have the method write, and washing machine can have the method wash. A pen cannot wash, and a washing machine cannot write. Similarly, an edit box cannot use the method select, whereas a drop-down box cannot use the method set. So the method applicable on edit box is set, means you insert some values, and the method applicable in the drop-down box is select. Similarly, if you have a button, OK button, the method applicable is click. You cannot use a select or a set method on the button. The method applicable is only click, like a washing machine cannot write. Similarly, a click method cannot be applied on the OK button. OK button cannot take the click method or operation. So now go back to the script again. So this is how we have written. This is the object class. Let me put the syntax here. Object class of the parent, then brackets open, quotations open, then the particular object name, then again quotations, brackets close, dot. Parent and child will be separated by dot symbol. So dot, again the object class of the child. Next, again parentheses open, parentheses are nothing but brackets, again quotations open, the name of the child object, again quotations open, brackets close, dot. So this is hierarchy is completed. So this part is called the hierarchy, by which you reach the object. I want to reach the agent name, so I wrote the hierarchy for the agent name. I want to reach the password, I want to do some operation on the password, so I'll write the hierarchy for the password. Then after writing the hierarchy part, means this is the reach part. How do you reach the object? So I have reached the child object, or the object in which I want to do the operation. Now I use the method applicable on that particular object. Here the object is edit box. So the method applicable is set method. As I told you, a car or else a washing machine can have only the method wash. Similarly, edit box can have only the method set. So set the value, then value in quotations, whatever value you want to give. Similarly, again, next line of code, I want to reach the password. So write this line of code. And set secure is another similar method where it is applicable for the password fields. Means password will not be shown but will be shown in the encrypted format. Next, again the third line of code. Dialog login dot win button of OK dot click. Means click method is applicable, and for this method there is no value because there is no value required for clicking on the button. So only method, there will be no value. If applicable, you can write the value. Next comes the other object, which is flight reservation dot close. It's nothing but after login you see one more window. This is nothing but your flight reservation window. So just click on this close. That is nothing but this line of code, and this is the main window, and that belongs to the class window. So class of the object, and here there is no hierarchy is required because I want to do the operation on parent object itself. So I don't want to, I need not write any child objects for that particular object. So to reach the object you need to write the hierarchy. So let us do one more example in the web environment. So just close this, save it before closing. Now again launch Open QTP. Double click on it. Click on continue. Select the web add-in. Unselect the Visual Basic add-in. And here again there is one checkbox which is show on startup. If you select this, every time you open QTP, you can see this add-in manager window, so that you can select the add-ins whenever you, whatever you want. If you don't want, if you suppose unselect this add-in, so for the next time when you open QTP, you will not see this add-in manager window. Means the application will be launched with the add-in which you have selected in the previous session. So I'm selecting show on startup so that I can change my add-ins if required. So select OK. Now QTP launches with all the settings required to test an application in the web environment. Now open the new test. Open the Internet Explorer. Let us go to the Gmail application. Let us first do a very simple scenario. So this is the Gmail application, and just go to create an account. So let us try to create an account. Let us try to record creating an account. So first of all, go to record. You can directly hit F3 or else go to automation menu and click on record button. Just click on record. Again, there will be two options. You have two tabs here, right? Web environment. Because we have added web add-in now. So record and run test on any open browser, or else open the following address when a record or run session begins. Just I'm selecting the first option, record and run test on any open browser. Hit OK. Now QTP entered record mode. Now just give some first name for creating a Gmail account. Let us give some name like QTP testing, and the last name is online training. Choose your name, choose some name, QTP testing. Next, enter some password here. Again, there's another button, confirm, another text box, confirm your password. Let us confirm the password. Just I'm recording till here. Stop recording. Right? So here if you see, just save the test. Okay, test 16, save it. Now the test is saved. Let us go back, execute the script again. Executing means till now we have recorded. So if I want to do the same testing again and again, I need not do myself. That is what is called automation. I'll just click on run and it will be executed. The test process will be done by itself. Just hit F3. Right? It has executed till the part what I have done earlier. QTP testing online training, and thus just it paused after confirm your password. Let us first try to analyze this 4 lines of code. If you see here, previously we have seen different object class, and now again different object class. See here, the new object class we are seeing is browser, other one is page, other one is web edit. These are the 3 different objects we are seeing, different object class. If you see here, the first main page, this one is nothing but the browser. So first of all, I want to reach this object which is agent name. So to reach this object, you should write the hierarchy till that particular object. Means first object is nothing but first name. Isn't it? This is the first name. So to reach that object, write the hierarchy till you reach that object. Hierarchy is nothing but browser, then page, and then web edit. I'll tell you how do you know the hierarchy. I'll tell you in the next sessions. Let us now understand the objects and object classes and different methods applicable. So this is the hierarchy, and following the same syntax. Object class of the parent. Here the hierarchy is of 3 levels. Previously we have only dialog of login dot win edit dot set method, only 2 objects, but here we are having 3 objects, means it's a 3-level hierarchy. Object class of the parent, then name of that particular object, quotations close, brackets close, dot first child object. Here there are 2 childs for this parent. First child object class, and then the name, then second child, and then that particular object name. Dot the method applicable. It is a web edit. Edit box in a web environment belongs to the class web edit. And the main or frame, complete frame, is nothing but the browser. And there's one more object which is this is the page object, and this is the browser object. The complete thing is a browser, and this part is the page object. Different controls, different objects in the application. So web edit, last name, again the method. Here it's a edit boxes, so set method. And for a password, we have a set secure method, and we see the password in the encrypted format. So method. So the same syntax. This is the same syntax you should follow while writing the VB scripting. First of all, as I told you, it contains 3 parts. This is one part, and the method or operation is the second part of every VB scripting line, and the third part is nothing but the value if applicable. For buttons there will be no values. So this is the basic structure of your VB scripting. So why to write the hierarchy? To reach the object, you should write the hierarchy. You should do some operation on the web edit box. So to reach that particular object, write the hierarchy till that particular object, till you reach that particular object. And then the operation or a method or a function, whatever you want to do on that particular object. Of course, applicable methods. Like I said, a pen cannot take the wash method. Method is nothing but the operation or some function doing on that particular object. Similar as a pen cannot take a wash action or a washing machine cannot take a write action. Same thing. Applicable methods should be written. If this hierarchy you reach a button, then the method you should use is click method. You cannot use a set or select for a button, right? And then the value. So this is the analysis of the basic VB scripting. And we have automated a sample scenario of just creating an account. Of course, we have done for four fields because there are different types of fields. We shall just continue doing. Just comment the code which you don't want to execute. If you comment means those are just statements by which you can understand your script. They will not be executed. So again go to record method and just continue the same thing. Next, birthday, select some day, February, day, enter the day, some 12th. If you go and see here, again the different lines of codes were generated for entering the values. Drop down comes under the object class web list because here birthday is a drop down. Drop down comes under the object class web list, and the web list takes the method select because you are not setting. Set means you insert some value. You are not setting the value, you are just selecting the value which is already there. So you selected February, so the value is shown here. And then again the set method and 12. Similarly for birth year, again those are edit box. So again web edit and set methods. Again gender is a list, drop down. So again it belongs to the class web list. And dot select the value again. So this is the basic format of your VB script. So after seeing this record and run, let us see different recording modes. Let us close this. Now let us open QTP again in Windows environment. Select the Visual Basic add-in and say OK. Now QTP launches with all the settings required to test a Windows application. Again open a new test. Go to new test. Till now what we have done, that type of recording is called normal recording mode or context sensitive recording mode. Generally, mostly we'll be using this recording mode only. There are other two modes also which are called analog recording mode and low level recording mode. What is the differences between these three modes? First one, normal recording mode, which we have already seen, is nothing but used to do some operation on standard objects like buttons, web edits, edit boxes, links, images. All this comes under the normal recording mode. Let us do one more simple scenario of recording using normal recording mode on the flight reservation window. Just click on first open the application, keep the application in base state. Base state means initial state. Now click on record, say OK, enter the agent name. Agent name can be any name. Password should be Mercury, and then hit on OK. And just go to file menu, open an order. You see some small window, open order. And this flight reservation window by default has some ticket numbers up to 10 or so. You can open that particular order. Opening an order means opening a particular ticket. You can select any criteria. You can search by customer name or else flight date or else order number. I am here selecting the order number and enter some order number here, 7, and say OK. Now that particular order details were shown you here. Jane Doe. The name of that particular customer is Jane Doe and the ticket number is 9. Sorry, tickets booked by him were 9 and the order number is 7. Just stop recording. Close the logout from the application and then stop recording. Previously we have seen this till the third line and then the fourth. But here we have done some more. We have automated some more scenario. If you repeat it again the open order can be opened by itself, automating the scenario of opening some order by selecting the order number. So this is what we are doing is nothing but the normal recording mode or context sensitive recording mode. Let us see a different type of recording modes. Before that, let us execute the script. Same thing was done. Means you are just recording and just asking QTP to do the same thing again. How we are instructing or asking QTP to do the same thing? With the help of this script generated. Let us open the new test. And not only these recordings, in general we'll be having some recordings like some paintings or some drag events, all these things. So if you want to record such events like mouse drag events, you go for the other recording mode which is called normal recording mode. This is not much used in the real-time scenarios. This will not be used, but just to know the different features of QTP we should know this types of recording. Let us go with the one. Any drawing can be recorded, and if you see the code, everything will be recorded in the form of tracks. Let us see a very simple one. Just open some paint window. This is the paint window. If you draw some drawing like this, if you want to record that operation, that drawing, you can go with this analog recording mode. Let us see how to do that. Open a new test. New paint window. This is the new paint window. Now first, to enter any analog recording mode or low level recording mode, first you should go for normal recording mode. So click on draw record. Here you see again record and run settings window. Select the first option and say OK. Now QTP enter recording mode. Once QTP enter recording mode, you can just select analog recording. You see a small mouse icon, right? These will be highlighted only once you enter the normal recording mode. So select that one, and again you see a small dialog box like with two options: record relative to the screen and record relative to the following window. What is the difference between the two options? If you select record relative to the screen, whatever you do on your desktop, on your screen with the mouse, suppose if I draw some drawing like this, even that will be recorded. If I draw my mouse like this, that will be recorded. Means multiple recording across or events across multiple screens can be recorded. Suppose you want to record only specific to some window, you can select the second one. Here I want to record my drawings only in this paint window. So I just select the second option, record relative to the following window. and the hand pointer here, the button will be highlighted. Click on this hand icon and your mouse turns into pointer. Select that particular window. So you see the window title here, Untitled Paint. Now click on Start Analog Record. Means whatever operations you do on this window will only be recorded. If you do some operations on your desktop in the middle, those will not be recorded if you choose this second option. Now say Start Analog Record and do some drawing and stop recording. Right? A line of code is generated in the form of tracks. Window of paint dot run analog track. It is totally different from the one which we have seen earlier. Previously, it's an object hierarchy, some set methods, and so on. If you use a normal recording mode to record operations like these drawings, then they cannot be recorded properly. So you go for analog recording mode if you want to record events such as like this. So again, open a new test. Open new paint. Now click on run. The same drawing, same action will be repeated. This will not be recorded correctly if you choose normal recording mode. You can try doing that. Just select a normal recording mode and try to record the drawing something like this. Then it will not work fine. So that is about normal analog recording mode. Let us see another example for this. In the flight reservation window itself, we have one signature operation. First, go to File menu, open the order, open order by some number, and go to File, fax the order. Here you see some signature, right? So in web applications or any applications, if you have something like signatures, but we rarely find it. So if you have any operations, even they can be recorded. So let us go to record again. QTP entered recording mode. Now enter the normal analog recording mode. Again, click on the hand pointer, select the particular window, start analog record, and do some signature here. Stop recording. Again, that particular event was recorded. Window, again hierarchy, dot run analog, and then track 1. Let us execute the same thing. Before that, open the fax order window, run. The same operation can be repeated. So if there are any signature events like this, even you can use this analog recording mode. Next, different recording. The other one is nothing but low level recording mode. Low level recording mode is nothing but QTP automatically turns into low level recording mode if it does not identify or if it does not recognize the environment. Suppose, as I told you, we have add-ins Visual Basic, Web and ActiveX as a free add-ins or a default add-ins, and we have to buy the license if we want to use other add-ins like Java add-in, .NET add-in, Cbel add-in, SAP add-in or Terminal emulator and so on. So suppose I don't have here SAP add-in. Suppose, but if I want to test my SAP application here, QTP cannot recognize the objects, or else QTP cannot categorize the objects into object classes. As you see here, an edit box in the web environment belongs to the class web edit, and the same edit box if present in the Windows environment, it belongs to the class WinEdit. Means the object class, name of the object classes differ from environment to environment. Suppose you don't have the SAP add-in, but you are trying to test the application which is developed in the SAP application. So QTP cannot categorize or cannot identify the objects properly. Then in such cases, QTP will automatically convert into low-level recording mode. And in the low-level recording mode, you have only two types of object classes. One is window and the other one is WinObject. That's all. No other classes. Only two object classes. One is window and the other one is WinObject. That's all. Here the normal recording modes, if we record using low level recording mode, and while if you are trying to play back or try to execute it, that might not be work well. Like see, you open the application and suppose during record time your application is placed here, and if you during runtime means you execute or you play back, if the position of the application is changed like this, then also your script will throw you an error. Or else in the application here, the first field is agent name and the second one is password. If the position of the applications changes within the application, then also the scripts which are recorded in the low level recording mode will fail. Means they will record with respect to the position of the objects. Let us try doing it. Select the record. Now enter the agent name, password, and sit OK. Sorry, I forgot to enter the low level recording mode. Just stop recording, open a new test. So after entering the normal recording mode, here you have another option, low level recording mode. Just click on it. Now QTP entered low level recording mode. Now enter the values. If you observe here, all the objects are only of two object classes, or window and WinObject. That's all. No other. No WinEdit, no WinButton, nothing. Only two objects. Whatever the object is, it will be either belongs to window object class or else WinObject class. That's all. And also if you see here, the coordinates of the objects are recorded. Click 11:8, X coordinate and Y coordinate. Means position of the objects were recorded. That's why if the position of the objects changes, then the script fails. The same script cannot be executed on the application if the position changes. Whereas if you go for normal recording mode, even though the position changes, means if the agent name is moved to second or something, means just the design changes. Just if the design change, then you can use the same script. You in a testing process, you generate the script once and you use the same script many number of times. That is the advantage of automation. Or else with some modifications of the script, you use the same script repeatedly. But if you go for low level recording mode, because it is recording the position of the objects, if some position changes at any point, again it cannot recognize the object. So that is a drawbacks, and that's about low level recording mode. You can try doing in different recording modes, different operations with the different recording modes. And that is about different recording modes and how do you automate a simple scenarios. In the next session, first we'll try to analyze what is happening internally when you try to record. Of course, we are clicking on record, script is generated, okay. Next you are clicking on run, everything is repeating again. But how it is happening? What is actually happening in the background? How QTP is able to identify the objects? So we'll first study the object identification process, which is very important and which is the main concept you should understand to work on QTP. How QTP is identifying the object. This is the main thing which you should understand to work efficiently on the tool. Next one, we'll also study smart object identification. Then after studying these concepts, we'll do examples on different web applications, how to identify the objects, and also we'll see object repositories and different operations on it. And then we'll try to generate the script manually from the next class.